Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Latino. I am the Director of Business Development for G Sport by Jesse. That is the high performance lineup of metallic catalytic converters by Global Emission Systems. This is a brand new segment called the Catalyst Corner. It's a video in which we will be releasing probably bi-weekly. The point of this video, or this series, I guess I should say, is to answer frequently asked questions, give our customers, our audience, our users a better understanding of our technology, learn catalytic converter tech a little bit better, and they can be a little bit more confident in using our product, using a catalyst, or have some answers to their questions. So this may not be the most exciting topic, catalytic converter technology, but I think it's necessary. We live in a world where most states are requiring emission standards and testing. We have a product which keeps your vehicle, and not even just the fact that states are requiring testing. We've got a product that makes your car more enjoyable to drive, does not reduce power whatsoever, and it makes it cleaner. I mean, there are no downsides to running our catalytic converters when applied correctly. And that's a big part of this video, is making sure you know how to use and install our catalytic converters and understand the technology a little bit better. So like I said, bi-weekly video, we'll go through frequently asked questions. We get probably 6 or 7 email or social media inquiries per day with questions. A lot of these questions are the same too, but they're different for different vehicles. So it's hard to put a chart out there that has every vehicle in the world with a part number on which you should use, because they're, especially in a modification stance, I mean, one vehicle could have maybe 4 different catalytic converters that would work based on how it's modified. Is it supercharged? Is it turbocharged? Do you have high compression built motor? There are so many variables to consider. So I think this will hopefully be informative, and down the line we'll go into case studies, we'll do flow testing, we'll do dyno testing, and we'll review some of those results and what these things mean. So this opening episode, I think, is just going to be catalytic converter terminology and making sure you understand the product, and then you can leave your feedback, let us know what you're looking for, and then future episodes will get a little bit more technical, answer those frequently asked questions, and just see where this takes us. So to start, I want to go through a little bit of the anatomy of one of our catalytic converters. This is just a bare substrate and mantle assembly. What's a substrate and mantle assembly? Well, the substrate would be the internal filter. So all these little holes there, those are called cells. So when you see like 200 cell, 300 cell, 400 cell, that's referring to how many channels in a square inch you'll have in a catalytic converter. That's what CPSI stands for, cells per square inch. So that is how many cells are in the substrate of the catalytic converter. The substrate being the main filter of the catalytic converter. And now you heard mantle, substrate and mantle assembly. Mantle is the tube in which the substrate is inserted. The main difference between an OEM catalytic converter and our metallic catalytic converter is the construction. The OEMs are a ceramic material that are held into a metal tube with a insulation blanket. It's like a matte material that's wrapped around the filter. So when this cat goes into the tube, the mantle, and its first heat cycle is introduced, that matting material expands and holds that ceramic brick in place. It's a cost-effective way to manufacture a catalytic converter. It works great in most everyday use applications, but once you start getting into that high performance side of things, that's where the ceramic cats don't really work so well. When we look into some of the super high performance supercars, Lamborghinis, a lot of them use a metallic catalytic converter, now even from factory, because it has been proven to be more effective at managing heat. That ceramic catalytic converter, which uses this heat blanket, installation blanket, what happens is over time, through your hot and cool cycles, that blanket, that matting material becomes brittle and crumble and fall apart, and then your ceramic catalytic converter starts to rattle around in the can and ultimately fall apart. That's the whole thing, is once that matting material becomes brittle and that can starts moving around, that catalytic converter is going to fall right apart, especially if you go ahead and introduce a couple of wide open throttle two steps. Sorry about that. Metallic cats, again, they're gonna hold up to that high temperature a lot more effectively. So that is our product. 100% of our G Sport lineup is metallic catalytic converters, held in place by a method called furnace brazing. So we learned about the ceramic catalytic converters. They're held in place by that matting material. How is a metal matrix filter held into a mantle? Whoops. So we use a nickel, which is lined in that internal substrate is lined with nickel, pushed into the tube, and then sent into an oven where it's ramped up to a ridiculously high temperature. We'll get into some of the technicals of that in a future episode on how it's made. And that nickel melts and fuses the internal substrate to the outer mantle, almost I say it's almost like welding, brazing. If you've seen, say, plumbing, how they heat with a torch and introduce, your filler and that's one way to kind of look at this. But similar process, but this will withstand a very, very high amount of heat without falling apart like a ceramic cat would. So substrates, cells per square inch, mantle. We've learned that terminology now. So for future episodes, we can understand what I'm talking about when I say mantle or substrate, or CPSI, also known as cell per square inch. So our lineup consists of Gen 1 and Gen 2. So one frequently asked question that we get a lot is, what is the difference between Gen 1 and Gen 2? I'm not going to answer a ton of frequently asked questions in this first episode. This is mostly an introduction episode, but we'll do a little bit here because it's important to understand the difference. So when I'm recommending parts in Gen 1, Gen 2, and future episodes, you'll understand why. So Gen 1 is our 300 cell per square inch lineup. We offer in 4-inch and 4.5-inch body for up to 850 horsepower applications. The reason being a 300 cell instead of a 400 cell, so Gen 2 being 400 cell, is a 400 cell per square inch substrate allows us to introduce more oxygen storage. And again, another technical term which will go into a full episode of oxygen storage if people are interested in that. Gen 2, 400 cell per square inch, it's going to be effective at keeping check engine lights off on vehicles 2017 and newer. Gen 1 will be, Gen 1 or Gen 2 will be suitable for vehicles 2016 or older, but you have to use Gen 2 on 2017 and newer to keep check engine lights off. Reason for that is most vehicle manufacturers change their O2 sensor calibrations to be that have a tighter tolerance, and that 400 cell per square inch gives us some more surface area to apply our precious metals and oxygen storage compounds and be more effective at keeping that check engine light off. Difference in flow between a 300 cell and a 400 cell, extremely minimal. And again, in a future episode, perhaps the same episode where we talk about oxygen storage, we'll bring up a flow chart and show you that. So that's going to be something that we'll go over in some future episodes as well. We also offer in our G Sport line a series of diesel oxidation catalysts. So if you have like a straight pipe diesel vehicle and you want to get rid of that smell or those fumes, go ahead and introduce the G Sport by Jesse diesel oxidation catalyst. That'll solve that issue. What else will we talk about on these segments? We'll talk about our NHRA activations. So both myself and my father, who's the CEO of Global Emission Systems, are NHRA Pro Stock drag car drivers. So we use NHRA national events as an opportunity to network with our customers, invite our G Sport customers to our national events, show them some of the behind the scenes, build some relationship with them, show them our product that we display right there at the racetrack. So I will go over some of the races that we have upcoming in these episodes. And if you are a G Sport customer and you want to come meet with us, get an unforgettable VIP experience at an NHRA event, we encourage you to come join us, absolutely free, totally on us, and see what it's all about. We are absolutely certain you're going to like it. So on that note, March 5th through 8th, the Gator Nationals at Gainesville Raceway in Gainesville, Florida. We will be racing there. So if you are in the area, if you are a G Sport dealer and you are anywhere near the Gainesville Raceway, we'd love to have you as our guest. Send us a message either through our social medias, comment here on this video, or send us an inquiry through gsportbijesse.com. And we would be happy to host you. Arrange tickets. It's fully catered, drinks, food, everything you could imagine. Also coming up, because I don't think we're going to have another episode before this, is the March 20 to 22nd Arizona Nationals in Chandler, Arizona, and then April 9th through 12th in Pomona, California at the In-N-Out Burger Pomona drag strip. So if you are anywhere near any of these racetracks and you would like to join us in the pit, please reach out and we would love to host you. That's going to be it for this episode. Again, just introduction episode, a little bit of information here, a little bit of tech talk. I'd love for you guys to comment and let us know specifically if you have any questions that you really want to know, as technical as you want. Go ahead and ask them in the comments and we will address them in future episodes. We'll talk about partnerships, how you can set up vendor accounts, where you can purchase our product from, all in future episodes. And so again, leave a comment, send an inquiry through gsportbijesse.com, and let us know what it is that you'd like to learn about. Even if it's not our product, if you have a question about a competitor product or how a catalytic converter works, or a concern you might have with using a catalytic converter, or an issue you may have, anything at all catalytic converter or exhaust related, I want to work with you and make sure to answer those questions. So keep an eye out for future episodes, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.